Halo Infinite is not looking too good right now. While I don't like using the Steam charts as a representative of the game's overall population, it still shows that the interest of Halo Infinite is drifting away, at least on PC. When the game came out in November 2021, its daily concurrent players was sitting above 200,000 players, not including those on Xbox and Game Pass on PC. Then the following month in December, the daily concurrent players went down as expected with an average of 150,000 players, not very surprising as most new games go through a similar cycle. However, toward the end of the year is where the game saw a sharp decline in concurrent players, and to this day this number is still going down. As of recording this video, the 24-hour peak is sitting at 16,000 players. Despite running the Cyber Showdown and 10 Right events in January and February, the game still struggles to retain those players. However, this is not limited to just Steam, but the game has also fallen out of the Xbox's top 5 most played games. Very alarming for a franchise that helped push the Xbox brand to the center stage. What has happened here? Why did Halo Infinite completely fail to retain player interest? I think it's a combination of things that has happened in the past 3 months with the way 343 has handled the game and the game itself. Let's go back to November 2021. They decided to release the multiplayer early and calling it a quote-unquote beta, with the campaign scheduled to be released on December 8, 2021. The point of the beta was to stress test the servers and for players to provide feedback. All maps and modes were considered final, and a stability patch was expected to arrive on the same day as the campaign. Though not many people were pleased about this because they expected 343 to add new playlists or other adjustments for the official release. But that never happened. Throughout the beta phase, people were also starting to point out all the issues with the game. Things like lack of customization options, lack of playlists and game modes, broken custom games, broken theater mode, no XP per match or performance, poor PC optimization, rampant cheating on PC, and overpriced store content. Then the following month in December, 343 has decided to act on some of the issues that people have brought up. For example, XP can now be earned on every match, and new playlists were added, which are Fiesta, Tactical Slayer, Free For All, and Team Slayer, as a stopgap until they figure out a solution to the so-called quote-unquote UI limitation, which I talked about in a previous video. However, another issue has cropped up where a Reddit user has discovered that the game has the potential to desync between client and the server. This was acknowledged by 343, however, no estimated time on when a patch will be released to correct this. What broke the camel's back is when they broke Big Team Battle or BTB as a result of adding new playlists. 343 tried to fix this, however, due to the holiday and the lack of available staff to fix these issues, these were pushed until the following month in January. And this was the point that the downfall of the player base started happening. Effectively, 343 left BTB broken for almost 2 months. It was only until this month, February 2022, that a patch was released to fix BTB. And then, another bad news happened. Joseph Stain announced on Twitter saying that the seasonal roadmap for Halo Infinite will be delayed, once again adding insult to injury to an already fractured game. A live service game that isn't live service. People that were looking forward to playing co-op with their friends have to wait a little bit longer. People that want to build custom maps with Forge will also have to wait a bit longer. Why will it take 343 another season to fix a cosmetic problem? These issues just keep compounding one after the other, and it's becoming frustrating to play the game in its current state. Not just that, but there's literally nothing else to do in this game. I've never finished the Battle Pass and probably never will, but some people that did complete it are also complaining that there's nothing much to do. Speaking of the Battle Pass, I also dislike how challenges are the main emphasis of this game to progress your Battle Pass rather than being a supplement to the gameplay experience. Take a look at MCC. You have the main player progression system that are split into 2 categories, Tours and Ranks. Tours being from Tour 1 to Tour 10, and Ranks ranging from Rookie to General. Each game you play, you are rewarded a certain number of XP depending how well you did in the game. If you did a lot of teamwork and performing so well in the game, like getting tons of multi-kills, then you get rewarded extra XP, and if you want to earn more XP, then you can do the weekly, daily, or season challenges as a supplement to the base XP. You don't feel forced or compelled to do the challenges because it's not something that goes toward a specific progression, unlike in Halo Infinite. For you to progress your Battle Pass, you must do certain challenges to increase its level. In a way, you are forced to change the way you play the game, and it's frustrating playing any objective mode when players are focused on their challenges rather than the game itself. In addition, Halo Infinite lacks a player progression system because it's been replaced with the Battle Pass system. Now, if you're like me who didn't spend a single dollar in a store or the battle pass, then there's literally no reward given to you. No credits, no nothing. This game doesn't value your time but your wallet. I could sink in 5 hours in a day but absolutely get nothing from Halo Infinite. If this were in the context of MCC, if I played those same hours, most likely my player rank will increase. Sure, you can say that you don't earn anything out of it, but at least your rank will change. This is why I've been able to play MCC on PC continuously since launch, because I love the satisfaction of my rank increasing every time I play. Halo Infinite lacks this, not unless you play ranked. Then there's the lack of content. To think that Halo Infinite has been in development for 6 years, mind you that both campaign and multiplayer are developed separately, you would think that they would bring in a lot of new content. Yet Halo Infinite has launched completely bare bones, repeating the same mistake as Halo 5. Forge has been delayed, as I've said before, and probably for a while. No custom games browser too, a feature they themselves developed for MCC, and yet they didn't bother to try and bring it over to Halo Infinite on day one. Both of these would have retained much of the player base as it adds a variety to the game. There are people out there that want to play all these mini games or wacky game modes in custom games because that's how Halo has always been like. It's also a nice way to take a break from these sweaty multiplayer games. I could understand why it took a while on MCC, given that they needed to implement the same system across each game. Right now, as of recording this, there is still no Halo 2 Classic, Halo 2 Anniversary, and Halo 4 custom game browser support. Of course, I expect this to change this year, but in the case of Halo Infinite, this system should have been designed from the beginning where they don't have to worry about legacy code to work with. I suppose they're probably working on it alongside Forge, but as of now, 343 has not provided any details about it. Then there is the desync problem. As someone who has played Halo on a 180 to 200 ping for about a decade now at this point, Halo Infinite's netcode performs considerably worse on this ping. Yes, I know this ping is technically unplayable, but anyone from Australia, Asia, or the Pacific region are basically used to playing Halo this way. Yet in Halo Infinite, it just feels worse. There are so many instances where I get shot behind the wall or corner that it makes it frustrating to play, even on a lower latency. Apparently, according to their blog post, this is an intended behavior where the person shooting gets priority over the other person running away. I really don't understand why it's a thing in here, but not so much in Halo 4, Reach, or Halo 3 even. I get it that this is a new engine, and I'm sure there are some technical challenges that they needed to solve, but I hope with the desync patch they're working on, hopefully this will be less of an issue. I also don't agree with forcing geofiltering. This should be an option for players. MCC lets you choose what servers to play on, and this is how it should be. If I'm forced to play on my own region, then I have to suffer through longer matchmaking times. It doesn't help that Halo is not a popular game in Asia, so I'd much rather deal playing on a US server like I've always been doing. It's baffling how 343 can mess up about 4 times in a row with the Halo franchise? It's no secret that Halo Infinite's development has been through hell. Yet somehow, in contrast to Halo 2's development, which also suffered through development hell, still managed to pump out a complete game. 15 campaign missions, all of which are still memorable and iconic to this day. Tons of new maps and game modes, and the addition of Xbox Live for the first time. Did you know that Bungie built a lot of the Xbox Live features in Halo 2, which are now standard features across every online service, like friends list, clans, voice chat, messages, matchmaking, and many other more. Again, Halo 2 was in development hell and still managed to deliver a very good game with innovative features. I know the times have changed between Halo 2 and Halo Infinite, but it still doesn't excuse the lack of content and features. 343 had all the resources they needed to make a good Halo game. They have MCC, Halo 4, Halo 5, and the legacy games in their possession. For all we know, 343 is purposely holding back these game modes to be special events. I guess their thinking is, maybe if we do events, then it will help retain the player base. However, the numbers have shown that it doesn't help, as shown in the Cyber Showdown and 10 Right events. People still complain about the lack of content or something to do in the game. Those that completed the Battle Pass have also said that there's nothing left to do anymore. While I can't say whether this is true or not, 343 has done a lot of outsourcing for this game. It probably explains why it's taking them so long to fix certain issues, as Microsoft's policy regarding contract workers is that they only have 18 months and after that they can't work on the project anymore. As a developer, this can be problematic sometimes as it causes a bottleneck within the teams. Someone has to go through that person's work and see what they've done and figure out how it works. And if management hires another contract worker, then they have to go through the typical training and onboarding process of 343's internal tools and then digging through the source code to add or fix something, only then to stop working on it once their 18 months is up. And the more you do this to the code base, the harder it is to understand how that part of the system works. Once you have so many people working on a single project and the management starts to fall apart, it causes a domino effect where every team is doing their own thing rather than working together on a single cohesive game or project. Basically, too many cooks in the kitchen. Until then, I'm probably just gonna play my backlog of Steam games that I have yet to play, or just play MCC for my dose of Halo multiplayer. I am just simply tired of waiting for something to be fixed or those features to arrive. It's the same pattern with every AAA game. Release the game broken or bare bones, then fixing it later. If I said anything previously that Halo Infinite launched in a good state, I take back what I said. With everything that's happening with this game, my opinions have changed. This game was clearly not ready to be released in 2021. People kept saying that it was ready to go. People kept saying that they shouldn't delay the game any longer just because co-op and Forge isn't in the game on launch. And look where we are now today in February 2022. The player base is slowly dropping and 343 is struggling to retain those players. I know 343 is going to address these issues. With the way they've been supporting MCC with a bunch of quality of life updates, I do expect Halo Infinite to receive the same treatment. But still, I wish they polish all of these stuff before the game launch. First impressions are always everything. If you screw up the first time, it's harder to regain trust that weren't impressed. And one last thing before I end this video, as a content creator, this is also affecting me because this channel has solely been focused on Halo. I'm sure most of you that subscribe prefer to see this content on my channel, but the problem is, and this is something I feared would happen someday, is that if my interest in Halo would be at its lowest, this would effectively cause my channel to be stagnated with no new content to upload. That is why for this year, I am looking into expanding into different topics to talk about, though I still plan to make more Halo videos and some of which are already planned or in the works. But yeah, that's all I have to say. My question to you guys is, are you still playing Halo Infinite? Leave your comments down below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
There's only so much holding on. You can